Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of The Bug Warrior. In today's episode I will show you the beginner's guide to crafting weapons and gear at the cube and transfiguring in Season 13. Now that we have the cube, for the first time the best items you can get are white, blue and yellow. There is no need to farm for legendary items anymore, since you will be able to craft your own with ease. However, the problem is knowing what to do, so step 1 is getting this image that I will share in the description, which explains what each prism can do. It took me a while to understand what was possible, but with this image I was able to finally craft gear as I wanted. So I hope that what I am about to explain makes sense, and of course if anyone else can improve on this, please share with us in the comments. Alright, so let's look at how to craft a legendary from a blue or magic item. Here as you can see, the only GA I have is maximum life, but that is perfect since that is the main stat I am after. Now the ideal two-handed sword for the apocalypse build needs weapon damage, willpower and critical strike damage multiplier, so let's see how to get that. First, add the sword to the cube and select add affix. You will notice the ingredients for the recipe will be automatically added, but now we want to add the specific affix. So check the image, and as you can see, all 3 affixes I'm targeting are under the offensive prism. So go to your consumables, find the aggressive tuning prism, which gives you offensive affixes, and click transmute. As you can see now I got weapon damage, so we're on the right track. Still I need willpower and crit damage. Since those are still offensive, use the same recipe of adding an affix and click transmute. Now I got willpower, which is perfect, the only one I'm missing is crit damage. Since we still have room to add one more affix, click transmute again. And as you can see I got damage over time, but we don't want that. Okay, so you have a couple of options on what to do next. Option number 1 is the focus reroll. Here as you can see, we leave the aggressive tuning prism since we're targeting replacements to willpower, weapon damage and damage over time, but maximum life will be untouched. When you click transmute, you will notice that any of those 3 can get replaced, so what you want to do is secure one of those 3, so that way you only gamble between the other 2. To do that, go to the occultist and enchant the affix you want, but don't change it. Here as you can see I did it with critical strike damage multiplier. Since willpower and weapon damage, I think they are easier to find. Since I got a low value for crit damage, you can increase it here at the occultist. Once you're happy with a value, go back to the cube and continue doing the focus reroll. You will notice that crit damage will never change, and now all you have to do is find the other 2 you're missing. Once you find it, it's time to finally upgrade to legendary, so click on that recipe and select transmute. Once you have your weapon as you want it, you can finish it by going first to the blacksmith and tempering. Remember that ancestral items can have GA at tempering, so all you have to do is continue tempering until you hit a GA. After this, go to the jeweler and add sockets if your item allows it. Once you're done adding sockets and tempering, it's time to masterwork. Remember that once you reach quality 25, which is the final upgrade, you can target your GA. Here I am going for maximum life, so just continue re-rolling until you find it. Finally, we're only missing 2 things, which is imprinting the aspect and transfiguring. Well, let me explain why I am not imprinting the aspect here. As you can see, I already have a good or similar two-handed sword to what I have, so I want to take a risk, which is transfiguring and hoping that the item doesn't become unmodifiable. When you transfigure an item, 99% of the time you won't be able to modify the item, but a friend found that if you do all the life cycle of preparing an item, but you don't imprint the aspect, you have better chances of transfiguring the item, but you will be able to transfigure again. Before I continue, I'm not saying this works every time. In fact, from around 30 times where we have tried this, usually only 1 works, but I find this better than transfiguring at the beginning, which most people do. So as you can see here, after masterworking, I went to the cube and clicked on transfigure item. Here I was lucky and I am still able to modify the item. So this time I go to the cultist, imprint the aspect that I need, which is cremator, and then go to the cube again to transfigure. Here I was very unlucky because I got indestructible, but the best affix you want is increased gem strength. Let's look now at another example, but this time with a yellow item. The good thing about yellow items is that chances are very high that you will get a couple of GAs at those items. So here as you can see I start with GAs at weapon damage, max life and physical damage multiplier. From these 3 I only need 2, so what you want to do is first secure weapon damage from changing, so we only have to search for the other 2 that are needed. Since we will target offensive affixes, no need to worry about losing maximum life. Same as before, go to the occultist and secure GA at weapon damage. Now go to the cube and begin by adding a new affix. Here I was unlucky and all I got was damage over time. So same as before, use focus reroll with the offensive tuning prism and look for willpower and crit damage. Once you find them, time to finish the item, so add sockets, temper, masterwork and transfigure. Here, since I already have a better two-handed sword, I did imprint the aspect before, so I don't waste the item by transfiguring. Here as you can see I was lucky at transfiguring and I ended up with a 4GA two-handed sword. Now before we go, last thing I want to show you is why ancestral items are great. Basically you will use them to farm for uniques. Here as you can see I have the white ancestral pants, so all you have to do is go to the cube, select the convert to unique recipe, and it may take a few tries before you find what you're looking for, but this is a great way to farm for uniques. Now the only problem is finding enhanced primordial dust. As you can see, I don't have enough. It seems the best place to get it is by completing warplans. Last but not least, when working with mythic uniques, here you can only temper your gear, masterwork, and transfigure, so while you can change the values, you can improve them a bit. This is how I ended up with a 5J Hair of Perdition. So there you have it. I hope this basic guide can help you, and please share with us any tips to improve crafting and transfiguring at the cube. We reached the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far and found the video interesting or useful, please consider to share, like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.